What's going on? Welcome to another episode of the Impel Fort Podcast. I'm your host, Leon. I got my co-host, Renee, my boy, KP with me.
What's
Larry's not with us today, but that's okay. He'll be back. What's
His
going on,
daughter's
y'all?
graduating. That's exciting, right?
Oh, yeah, his daughter's graduating.
Very exciting.
Mhm.
Yeah, one more dependent outfit out of his pocket, maybe.
Not necessarily.
Right. That's why I said maybe.
He got a million more to go.
Yeah.
Right. So
He listening right now. Him and Tatiana. He about to come in and be like, "I can't stand y'all."
yeah. So yeah, he probably This is just
Mm-hmm. One.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll make a dent. It might, pay a light bill.
Nah. I'm pretty sure she might be going to college or she's going to need some
Right.
things at least till she get 30.
Right. That's a daughter. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I take
that's
that.
for life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in his pocket for life.
Mhm. Yep. Well, we got
Yeah.
a couple of topics we're going to talk about. Joe Biden, the Nottoway Plantation, the TikTok case,
Oh my goodness.
and raising money for Rodney. I don't know what we're going to start.
Raising money for Rodney.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Well, I ain't gonna say it.
There's so much going
It's
on.
just so
I
much.
don't
It's so much.
know. Is it America that's just dumping every day? Because it don't seem like we was getting
Everybody
dumped like
else.
this last year. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, in certain countries, obviously they don't have all of this unless they have some civil unrest. China is communist, or Japan, or North Korea. They don't have all this going on because
Right.
they will be killed.
Right.
Saudi Arabia, a lot of those Muslim Arab countries, a little but not much. Not the ones that's tightly controlled.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I just feel like every day. Every day. We haven't been able to rest since January 20th.
But a lot of people talking about moving in other countries and getting away from here. They don't want to go in them other countries.
Them other countries don't want us.
They don't want us.
No.
And whether we like it, I mean, we still got it pretty good over here, I can say. Even though there's a lot of stuff going on.
I think wherever you go, you can make it, right? Make it work.
Right.
How would I compare giving up your citizenship in the United States as a Black person
Mm-hmm.
to go live in somewhere, to go and live in the Philippines or China, which you can't become a citizen. But I don't know.
You said you can't. I was going to ask you that.
I mean, or you can turn into a passport, bro. KP.
Why I got to be?
I'm just saying.
Shots across. Listen, I got to catch a stray. I'm not a passport, bro. You listen. You have to have a passport to be a passport, bro.
Oh, so
you don't got a passport, KB?
Oh,
you got one?
No,
Hey, but look.
surprisingly, Renee, no, I don't have a passport.
I'm very surprised,
I'm just a local bro. How about that?
Hey, look, ain't nothing wrong with that. People like to brag on. I got a passport. I'm going now.
I
Look,
think it's important
I don't like
for
to fly,
Black people. I think it's
I
important
will
for
get
Black
one
people
this
to get a
year, though.
passport.
I'll get one this year. I'll get one this year because guess what? I'm the butt end of all my friends' jokes.
Mm-hmm.
50 years old, got to pay. So it's so many jokes about me with my friends, but with me and this passport, it's so bad that Kev, Kev.
I'm about to say, I know Kev got one.
Yeah, Kev went to the post office, got 2 applications, and brought them to me and put them in my hand. They think I'm running. They think that they all seem to think that I'm hiding, that I'm here on witness protection.
I kind of think that was going to be my next guess. Like, what's the
they've been putting all kind of guesses to it.
What's
like,
the problem? What's the tea?
Who did you kill? A minister? Did you kill? It's all kind of stuff, man. I just find it funny.
But to be honest, I feel like Leon wouldn't have a passport if it wasn't for Nico.
I 100% agree.
Maybe.
I agree.
That's who's gonna get him to vote.
Because I don't care about going. I ain't got to going out of the country and going here. I can Miami, one of my favorite spots. It's right there. Hey, I can drive and fly there.
Listen, Renee, I'm with Leon Trump on this one. I don't, up until here recently, I wanted to travel abroad. I consider myself, I've gotten, let's just say, I want to get the passport to go to one country and one country only, and that's the Mother Africa. That's the only country I want to go to. I don't aspire to go see the London Bridge. I don't want to see the Eiffel Tower. I don't want to see nothing. All I want to go from which I come.
Okay.
That's where I want to go.
That's understandable.
That's the only place I want to go.
I think it's important for every Black man, if you can, right? I feel like the stipulations are in place for Black people, but that's another topic for another day. But if you're able to get one, I feel like you should, because it's so many preventative measures to keep Black people from getting a passport.
I would definitely, yeah. I'm getting a passport simply to go to Mother Africa. That's it. I want to go to Ghana. I want to go to the Door No Return, Elamine Castle. I want to go experience those things. So I definitely want to go.
You talking about not like flying? Them a couple hours over there.
I know, man. I'm gonna be like, you remember when 18 with B.A. Baracus, they used to just knock him out.
Knock him out.
So it's just, I'm gonna try to find a way to be knocked out, man. I'm
trying to, like, when I flew to Brazil, which is, to me, I feel like it was compatible because it was about 24 hours to get there.
Mm-hmm.
All the stuff I went through, my employees was like, it sounded like you was on an episode of Amazing Race. You're right, because that's what I felt like. Like, I paid to be on this show. Like, I didn't volunteer or ask. I paid to be on Amazing Race because it was just like, it was so.
It was really like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's always something. But speaking of traveling and being in North Carolina, and you being from New Orleans, is it New Orleans?
Nolans.
Or Nolans?
Nolans, Louisiana.
Say Louisiana. That'll be
Louisiana. That's easy.
How do you say it?
That way you don't have to get. It goes. It could be. It's the city. It's it's New Orleans. It's said this way, but nobody call it Nolans. So, however, I hear other people say, don't nobody say that, right?
I done heard it somewhere.
But,
I done heard it somewhere. People call it Nolans.
Well, you will hear it, but that's not a local. You will hear that watching CSI New Orleans. You'll watch it with these bad actors trying to imitate the accent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you'll watch something of that magnitude, but. No, I think what you guys was asking me offline was about the Nottoway Plantation, and and Renee seemed to want to put me on the spot and give a history lesson, a little bit more about the. I do not know. I only know what you guys know, and just to reiterate, I knew that being one of the biggest lasting plantations that is here. There is others that have been that particular plantation that's in White Castle. White Castle is just like one of those. White Castle would be like Garner here.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
All right, something like that. It's in proximity to a much larger city, but still far enough away from Baton Rouge. So. I remember, I think if I can remember, if my son was having a soccer tournament, and he was one of the only Black kids on the team. And one of the kids that was on the team, I think, was a Hispanic kid, ironically. And this kid was supposed to be like this, I wouldn't say an artistic type of child, but he was very inquisitive, and him being so inquisitive made him very knowledgeable of something. And this kid, during the break, because during soccer sometimes you have these breaks, and so this kid was convincing everybody. He was talking about this plantation and the things that had happened on this plantation. And he was very educated on the plantation, and so they decided as a team that they were going to go, and so kind of went to this plantation. And my ex-wife at the time, I remember she was impressed by what the kid knew. And when we pulled up there, I can't remember, but when I pulled up there, there was no way I was getting out.
Yeah.
I only went because I didn't want my son to be ostracized for not going as a team. It was a team thing, right? Which, if that was a Black coach, this would have never happened.
Right.
So, and then I didn't want to be embarrassing. I didn't want to be the one embarrassing Black dad. Like, no, man, what kind of bullshit is this? No, you know. So I remember having a talk with my son in the car, and I remember having it with my ex-wife at the time, and it was just kind of like, I'm like, no, y'all don't feel this. It feels eerie. I'm not going. There's nothing in there I want to hear. There's nothing in there I want to see. I cannot remember because it was so long ago. I cannot remember if he got out and joined his teammates or he just sat in the car. I can't remember. Or I'm thinking he went because the tour starts out in the front of the plantation, like because there are moss, these moss trees hanging over. And just those trees alone, I could just imagine straying fruit hanging from those trees, right? And I think the tour started like under the trees, giving a chronology of the history. Yeah. And but I think he probably participated in that, then sat back in the car, something like that. It would be so much, it's too much for me to understand. But at the time, I didn't know when I was there, I didn't know a whole bunch about the plantation other than about it. I knew it was there. Right. But I didn't know like when it was built, how many slaves was on it, like we know today, 140 slaves were on there. And it was in the time in which it was built. That's about the extent that I always knew about it. I knew about the Whitney Plantation. If I'm not mistaken, the Django movie, when that was featured in the Django movie. And there's another plantation that's in Gonzales. I can't think of it. They turned it into a restaurant. It's got some good food there, honestly. I think, huh?
So you ate there?
No. So what happened was I was working at the hospital, and for whatever reason, they wanted to have an R&R, like all the leadership get together, that type of, Renee, you know what I'm talking about. And it was there, and I was kind of reluctant to go. They do weddings there, same thing. The staff is there. They walk around. You kind of want to say, "Hey, man, we free," know. And they're still dressed because they kind of still wear the regalia. No. And it's huge. And I remember I was on that plantation, sorta. It was a plantation, and I know that they do a lot of weddings there. And this one's in Geismar and Gonzales. I can't remember where it was. Gonzales is between New Orleans and Baton Rouge. So along the Mississippi River there's that's where all the plantations, a lot of them. But that plantation, I can't bring it to my memory what it is, but I'll probably remember when we get off the phone.
I asked you that because I was reading earlier, and reading right here, it says it has 40 overnight rooms, a bar, a restaurant, event space, and pool, tennis court, and all that. And while reading, I'm like, why would I want to go here? To the plantation, knowing most what it was.
Don't, especially if they turn it into an event space and,
all those things, right?
The aesthetics of, my dream wedding. A lot of people don't even look at the history. They're just looking at the now aesthetics and how it fits what their, dream wedding would look like, what they dreamed of growing up.
That's
I
right.
want to know.
Well, what they've done essentially, all that stuff Leon just welled off, they put lipstick on a pig. And it's still a pig, right? But they were like, it's rooms, it's restaurants,
it's all that history. And no, now the Whitney Plantation, I remember that because I was watching Real Housewives of Potomac, and I remember Giselle. They all went to New Orleans, and Giselle's father, before he passed away, he gave the ladies, walked them around and gave them the history. So that was on my bucket list to go there. To visit if I were to, go back to New Orleans. But the Nottoway, when I woke up, I'm like, whoa. But I was thinking it was something different. Like, should I be happy about it? Should I not? You know what I mean? I didn't know how to feel because I had never heard of it, to be honest, until I was doing some more reading. And then I'm like, oh, okay. So that's why, I see a lot of the black people like, where are we going for breakfast? What you having for breakfast with, you know how they do. Like, I'm headed to the store right now. I don't care about this place burning down.
I thought the video that I post in our group with the lady giving the tour, it's amazing how they love to pat themselves on the back for doing the smallest ant of a thing and not be giant in humanity. You know what I mean? And they are very they're very celebratory, like, and he would just buy all the slaves so that they would be separated. We think that's a good thing.
Right.
Meanwhile, Black America looking like, how do you find humanity in that, right? But you can find humanity in a people that you don't consider humans. That's the only reason why they cannot humanize us, because we're not considered humans in their eyes. And so, when you're looking at that video, you watch another Black lady walk right by her that works there and just going about her business, and there's no eye contact, there's no anything, and it's just there's probably a part of the ancestors that rose up in one of the workers there, because just like the White House, when the British showed up in 1820, the White House was burned down too. You know who told them how to burn it? The British how to burn it down? The slaves, because they built it. It was like, well, you know what the stress points are, right? If you start to fire over here, so sometimes history may not repeat itself, but it does rhyme. And the White House was burned down, and it was instructed by the slaves. That's how the British knew what to do it. And all I would say is, what I started thinking about, be happy. Don't fight what's in you. Like Renee, decorum is over.
Right.
When they decided to, no matter what you tell a Trump supporter, they will find a way to obfuscate through it. Then stop being, decorum is over. Normally, when I see a guy run over a cop, bad, call balls and strikes, lock him up, no support, no nothing. But when you watch Kyle Rittenhouse just murder people, right? And he runs right by the police with a long rifle. They are dispatched to shots fired in an area where he's running from, waving to them with a long rifle on him, and they just look right past him to go into the thing because he doesn't look threatening. And then to take for this guy to get online and raise money, hate is for sale here in America.
It definitely is for sale.
Hate is for sale. And so I don't feel a way about Rodney Hilton. I don't feel a way, we're gonna put money on his books. We're gonna put money on his books. I watched him do that for the guy that choked out the autistic man in the picnic. Choked out the autistic man on the subway. Talking about he being a good Samaritan because he was going to do something. He was going to harm somebody. No, he wasn't.
Right.
Now he's having a moment. You closed all the rehabilitation centers in all states. So they can't get mental health. They can't go, so they end up in public. That's where they go. And they're talking to each other and they talking to themselves and they acting out. So I don't mean to filibuster here. I'm just saying that I would willing to believe that fire didn't start. It wasn't an electrical fire. I can tell you that.
No, it's a coincidence that it's been around through, the first Trump campaign. And although, the hate started there, we were able to see him at his, where he is. Like, we knew what he was about. So if he won, we already knew what was coming again, right? From the first time he ran with Trump, right? It was still there. It was the house was still here through Biden, all throughout Biden, right? Even though Trump, the hate and all, his MAGA people, it wasn't to the level of him writing, executive orders to remove this and remove DEI and remove away money and do all those things. We just knew that he was, racist, a dictator and everything from his first term. So, it wasn't like we were going to be surprised. I think to this level of him and his executive orders, not following law and order, which he, represents allegedly, the house burns down under him.
Well, not just that, Renee. There's a lot of back chatter in the Black community that Larry Post and we read. This is another level of festivity where we at. We're not pissed off enough to be in the streets and busting heads, but we're at a level like, you know what? Yeah, burn that MF down. I don't care. Yeah, burn. You gonna erase our history? How about we erase yours? Right. You take my son. How about I take one of yours? That is the energy that we're going into this year. That's what that is. That thing burning down is because that's their history. So they want to take our history. Oh yeah, okay. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, the owner talked about rebuilding.
I see it happening.
The owner talked about rebuilding, and somebody commented and said, "Who gonna build it?"
So y'all think it was done on purpose?
I definitely do. They said they had that fire under control. They had like 75 firefighters. They had it under control, and mysteriously, it ignited back up, and they could not control it, and that's what burned it all the way down. Through the smoldering. They thought they had it under control. Then all of a sudden, it ignited right back up. Let me tell you something. You know what didn't get burned down? The slave quarters in the back, all of where the servants were. Mm-hmm. The ancestors don't miss. You know what I'm saying? They don't miss. So it was deliberate. I believe it has a purpose and it's a message. You take one of ours, we take 10 of yours.
Isn't it a coincidence? It's like you see these certain things. I don't know if you guys saw, I don't know if I put in the group chat about the Fox host who was talking about, and this is going to lead us into our next topic, who was talking about Kamala Harris and Biden, right? She was doing her nightly talking about, they call Kamala low IQ and all this stuff, and they didn't do anything. And she just fainted on the spot.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
And the guy, her co-host, he just kept going. He was like, yeah, and next up. He tried
to keep going, but then he was like, we'll be back.
He didn't even try to catch her.
KP trying to find it.
It was a Fox host on her show, a late night show, and she was going in talking about.
I know. I saw that. One of the ancestors touched her. You know how we do the slaying in the spirit?
No, you didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Father God,
but that's happened to two reporters talking about Kamala and Joe Biden. She was the second one. It was another one who was standing up, and
I'm not joking.
Talking about him again on the little podium. Boom, dropped to the floor.
I'm not joking when I say do not underestimate the power of our ancestors. We do believe that they are interceding for us on the other side, and we do believe that they're pulling some strings. And I believe that they have been asleep. And now they're awake.
I know. And it's like,
and they're like, you know what? We're going to pull some strings on this other side for y'all.
Well, speaking of Joe Biden.
Joe may be an ancestor. Well, I shouldn't say that.
Well, I mean, he's protected. He's protected.
Speaking of Joe, he, of course, we all know he has prostate cancer.
Yes.
Sad case. They say it's pretty bad. It says in his bones.
Yeah, stage 4, right?
Stage 4, but your boy Trump said he had stage 9. I don't know where he got that
from.
His
son says stage 5, and I'm very worried.
Who said stage 5?
His son said stage 5.
His son
Trump said
made
9.
An announcement saying stage 5, and he was wondering why Joe
when
Biden.
When Europe sends its people, it sends its criminals. It doesn't send their best.
Yes, so his son.
When Germany sends their people, they don't send their best. They send their dumbest.
Goes on Twitter, this rant talking about Joe's stage 5 cancer and wondering why his wife, Dr. Jill, didn't detect it if she's a doctor. She has a doctorate in education. Not medical. When you have your doctorate degree, you're referred to as doctor.
Yeah. But I hate it for him. I wish they would have kind of caught that early on how they
They probably did. Well, listen, the key word here is they caught it early, but they didn't catch it early. When you hear metastasize meaning that it derived from original origin. And its original origin, he probably get diagnosed with prostate cancer 8 years ago.
A while ago, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he got treated. That's why he walked the way he walked. That's why he looked like he was zoned out half the time, probably from chemo, right? So they probably got control of it. Mm-hmm. And then it metastasized into the bones.
Right. Yeah.
So now it's stage 4. And so that's what I think happened. I think they knew. I think they knew over 8 years ago, probably.
Oh, they knew.
Yeah, you had to.
But they got it under control. The problem is it came back. The metastasize means that it spreads. And so it spread from somewhere. So it was and then they said he had prostate cancer, but now it's in his bones. So that's how I understand. I mean, that's how I understand cancer.
Now, have you had your prostate check, KP?
Man, what? No.
But you know you can do it.
Man.
You can do a blood test.
Black man, we will choose death over the uncomfortable moment.
No, listen. You know you can do a blood test.
Okay, so last night, it's funny that we would have this conversation because definitely get with my doctor about the order of Cologuard because it's time for me to do another colonoscopy. You know, really don't want to do it. The hardest part is the chart. I've done them before, and then this came up about doing the prostate, and they could check your PSA levels or and through blood work. So Yeah. So no, I'm gonna do that, but I can't do the old school. I can't do the natural way.
Now they don't do that. They don't know. Well, I ain't gonna say.
What if it was a woman who did it? Would you feel better?
If I was gonna get a woman. It wasn't gonna be what if it was a woman. It was gonna be a woman. I mean,
See,
Renee, I thought that went without saying.
Well, I guess I should have. I don't mind. I don't mind. I have a man or a woman. I don't care. I'm not finna have a doctor and I walk in there. He's 6'4" like me, some big hands with some rings on his. Is you crazy? I am not gonna.
But I do know a couple of men who gone through this prostate cancer or elevated prostate. So y'all out there who haven't got your prostate checked, you don't have to do the old school way. You can get it through blood work. It's called a PSA. Yes. Holla at your doctor. Go get your prostate checked. And if you haven't had a colonoscopy, get that also. Get that done. You know, they lowered the age limit to 45 when what's the guy name? Chadwick Boseman?
Boseman.
When he got colon cancer, that's when they lowered it to 45.
Yes,
they should have been there because I heard cases of people catching colon cancer way before 50.
Oh yeah,
you know. So
I had a colonoscopy back in February of last year. Was it February? Right. It was sometime, but women and breast cancer. But that's coming up. We're going to talk to somebody about getting checked because I know doctors will say you don't need to until you're 40.
Yeah, that's they don't.
It's not true.
Yeah, I always questioned a while ago when I was trying to get my PSA. Doctor, he kept telling me I was too young. I'm like, there's no age limit. You can catch it at any age. How y'all get this from? You got to be a certain age.
I know, man. They want us dead.
I know. Like they say, women, you don't get your breast checked until you're 40. My sister got, she got breast cancer in her 40s.
I got a cousin that got it in her 30s.
No, early 30s, early 30s. Yeah, early 30s. I know somebody who's in their, middle age 30s, a young lady we're going to speak to recently who got breast cancer. So I don't know who put these age limits on there. I'm like, KP, they may want us to, die.
You got to remember the 1960s. When you listen to shout out to Malik El-Shabazz birthday today, commonly known as Malcolm X, Brother Malcolm Little, by way of Omaha, Nebraska, right? I forgot what I was gonna say. I got to thinking about Malcolm X and his birthday today would have been 100. And I said that for something. I don't forgot what we were talking about.
Oh, Renee said and you said day one was gone. It's too many of us. It was something.
Well, yeah, because if you're listening to Malcolm X talk, a lot of ladies, 1960s, it was like Fannie Lou Hamer. They were talking about they was using the 20 million. They was like, where is 20 million Africans going to go? If 20 million Africans they use the word 20 million. You fast forward from 1960s, you talking about 40, what is this, 65 years? It's been doubled because the number now is 40 million is the number of blacks that are here African Americans that are here in the United States. You got to understand from 1619 to 1960, we amassed about 20 million of us. After slavery after the Civil War, it was estimated was 4 or 5 million. Wow. African Americans, that's all it was. So like 4 or 5 million. Now, if you think about that and listen to how the numbers grow, and if I'm putting my white man cap on, I'm like, oh no, they metastasizing.
They growing.
They growing at a rate that we cannot subdue.
What is it?
Hence the reason for Project 2025.
We don't die, we multiply.
That's some baby kids, right? That's what that's he the man had to realize that he's dealing with. We were original baby kids, we not die, we multiply.
How times have changed, right?
I could only imagine if we didn't have these 30, I would say last 30 years, I would say where we really, a genocide on ourselves. Mm-hmm. I could only imagine if our youth wasn't, for the last 30 years, just murdering in the streets the way we are, day in and day out. I could only imagine what our numbers could really be.
Oh, yeah. Now, if that happens, it'll be for fun for them. They'll love it.
So they talk about when you're talking about, if we're talking about this, they talk about white American is, it's like they all for this Civil War. Not so many. They're very confident. Mm-hmm. They're very confident in their stance that if there is a Civil War, that they will prevail. And might I remind them that during the last Civil War, the North was losing. Okay, mm-hmm. The North was losing, and if it wasn't for Martin Delany and Frederick Douglass petitioning Abraham Lincoln to allow the enslaved to fight on behalf of the North, with the respects of getting land in Low Country, which is down the land, and getting their freedom, then the North would have not have won that war. My point is that you're gonna invoke a people that you're given the opportunity to inflict harm upon you in the name of freedom, and they've been waiting to do that. So we had those guys that are in the Civil War been waiting to get at them because of what they saw in the plantation and what they experienced. Mm-hmm. You take a KP and a Renee who've been working corporate America, and now it's the Civil War, and you telling me I get to extract something on Miss Ann and Graham Wellington III? He ain't got a chance.
I think they noticed that from Alabama.
Let me tell you another statistic too, why they don't want this, because it's like, well, we got the numbers. Okay. All right. So black people represent 13% of the population, right? Mm-hmm. Black men represent somewhere about 5 or 6. But black men, or 13% of the population, is responsible for 52% of the crime. So when you look at that number, that's probably a group of people you don't want to fuck with because they're good at it.
Right.
Now, I'm not bragging about it, but what I'm saying is, if 13% of the smallest part of your population has the highest percentage in crime, that's probably a group of people you don't want to mess with. Right?
That's
because true. We came here fighting. We came here looking over our shoulder. We came here having to survive. They didn't. And it's one thing when they're at the target range practice, what's going to happen when them bullets start firing back at you?
There you go.
So anyway, enough of that.
Speaking of bullets,
feel me though, right?
Yeah,
bullets,
we got
bullets flying. What's the TikTok murder case? What happened?
Mm.
So y'all heard about the y'all familiar with the case in Virginia? There was some kids knocking on the door at 3:00 in the morning.
Right.
And a guy killed one of them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, black dude killed one of them.
White kids.
I know one of them was white. The one he killed played baseball. But it was 3:00 in the morning, and he shot him. And they arrested him. Right now, as of now, I don't think he have a bond.
No.
And so a lot of people.
How was he arrested?
I don't know. I think they charged him with second-degree murder.
A lot of things, Renee, and I don't know the state of Virginia. I don't know if it's excessive. Go ahead.
I'm about to say, a lot. I don't know if he's about to say this, but a lot of them have a lot of different rules and regulations.
Right, castle doctrine or staying your ground doctrine.
Yeah.
Because if it's castle doctrine, you have to allow people a chance. If they come like here, if they're retreating, you can't shoot them. Mm-hmm. If they're in your house, you come and catch them, but they're running, you cannot shoot them.
If their back is turned, you can't. Mm-hmm.
Right. So in a lot of states, the criminals have the upper hand than the homeowner.
So was the young kids, were they running away or were they still at the door?
Do not know. Probably. I think they was doing a prank. They were doing a prank.
Yeah, doing a prank. They say it's a prank that's going around on TikTok and everybody's doing it.
Listen, y'all, don't come to my house.
Which back in the day we should call it nigga knocking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
I used to do it. Mm-hmm.
But now these days
we didn't do it at no 3:00 in the morning.
Not 3:00 in the morning, and it's very different this time of day. You can't do that now.
No,
times are different.
No, times are the times are heightened, and more people are packing, looking for a reason. Because some people might think it's ICE at the door. Some people might think it's the Klan at the door. And some people might think it's Tyrone at the door.
Or you just don't know. Why are you at my door at 3:00 in the morning and I didn't invite you over?
Right. That's what Larry was talking about in the chat, talking about everybody wanting to go viral. And that's one of those things when they want to go viral on TikTok.
Go viral in my house, people.
But for the wrong reason, it's sad. It's terrible.
It's sad. I mean, but do you think we don't know the law there, but do you think he should? I mean, like I said, if you did that here, you would be locked up. Because I talked to a good friend of mine that's on Durham PD, and I wanted to get the rules when I got here because it's different from Louisiana. Louisiana is more of a castle, different doctrine, and it's almost like Wild Wild West, right? So here's a little different. Your criminals got more of the rules, more of the protection, should I say? And so I do know that if you catch somebody in your vehicle, in your car, in your driveway, you cannot shoot them. So they can back out and leave, and no, you cannot.
I'm gonna just lock you in.
Right, and in some case, well, yeah, but then they'll break your window and get out before the cops get there. But you can't meet aggression without aggression, meaning that if someone doesn't have a gun and they're on your property, then you can't just shoot them. You got to meet aggression with aggression. You can stand a better chance by engaging them in a fist fight, old school, right? But you better win.
No warning shots?
No, that's illegal discharge.
What's the purpose?
I know, exactly, Renee. I think when it comes to the Second Amendment, in all 50 states, there should be a carve out for your home or your domain. And when I say your domain, that'll be an extension of your vehicle, right? I think with your vehicle and your domain, we need to all have a separate carve out to protect the homeowner and the car owner.
Right.
Because if not, if I'm a criminal, if I'm thinking like criminal, I'm doing, because you're a soft target now. Because I know you can't do this, you can't do that, and you're going to abide by the law. So I'm going to come rob you and steal out of your house because I know you're going to abide by the law. Meanwhile, my counterparts are people that I know from the hood. They ain't going by those rules.
Right.
They're going to knock you up. So I'm going to stay away from them. So I'm going to go right up into those nice neighborhoods where they know the law and they're going to abide by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said the kids was running away. And it was
that's why he's in jail.
And they was videotaping. This wasn't the only house they did. They was doing other houses videotaping it. Basically trying to go viral.
He was old school. He didn't have no Ring camera. He said,
he might have did, but he probably just came out firing.
Because most of you got a Ring camera, just like the one guy. He was like, "What you want?" It was the police, and they were like, "We just want you to come outside." The man was like, "Do you have a warrant?" And they were like, "We just want you to come outside." He was like, "Man, good night."
Right.
I'm not coming outside for you. And the police just kept trying to get him to come outside. He was like, "I said good night," and they had to come back.
Yeah. So hope. I mean, I still. It's like the guy.
Has Ben Crump taken it?
Nah, I ain't seen anything about Ben Crump. KP's lawyer, favorite lawyer.
Renee trying to trigger me today. But Renee trying to trigger me all day. She started with the prostate stuff, laughing, with a little girly smile.
With the passport, she been getting on you.
She tried to slick slide me on the little passport thing. Trying to see if I get down like that.
KP is listen, I found another person like me that be outside, like me.
Thank you.
Yeah, he likes to be outside.
I be outside
like me, and I appreciate it. I don't feel bad now because
I told Leon. That's why then he be hating. Don't want to cut my hair.
Right.
Nah, you need to get right on them appointments. Matter of
Man,
fact,
you know you got a slow book. You know I'm
on the
slow.
book right now. You say
I
you're slow.
You know what? I'm about to book right now.
Every Friday at 4:00.
Yeah, I don't know why he don't do it.
He gonna make me pay. I'll have to pay all the way a month in advance.
You already know you're gonna do it. You might as well. But getting back, look, so,
I'm gonna set you up on Karma or PayPal for 4 payments.
Yeah. But look, so let's talk about this raising money for Rodney. So Rodney, I think his last name is Hinton, the one who ran over the police officer.
Allegedly.
Yeah. No, he
not
did.
Like, see,
ain't no allegedly.
Now yours, no, Leon Trump. I like where Renee is going with this.
He hasn't been proven guilty yet.
Hasn't been proven guilty, and in the court in this United States, the fifth of it, yes. Exactly.
Man, this ain't like no investigation. This man,
no. You missing the assignment. No, Leon Trump, you missing the assignment. What I'm saying is, all decorum is out the window. Right. The way they defend and ride for their people, allegedly.
Did anybody here see him do it?
But he's proud. But he's proud, He's proud of what he did, though.
He's not proud of it.
He's proud.
He is. We can't say allegedly. We can't say allegedly in this one.
No, he's proud that he has been alleged.
Right.
He's proud that he's been alleged. It hasn't been and the fact that he's proud like that, that's mental health. Yeah.
Y'all crazy. But look,
or that's how he's handling his kid.
It's mental. Yeah. He probably has some mental health. This probably has some mental issues.
So
did you see him?
Did you help, not jail?
Leon, did you see him do it specifically?
No, but he did it.
You have video, Leon Trump?
He did it. Check this out. So, what do y'all think about them raising money?
I think that's great. If he needs it, he should get it. Anybody. I feel like we're in a world now where everybody can pick and choose who they want to donate to. I think decorum, like KP said, is out the window. I mean, just like the one lady who has over $600,000 for calling, that young kid, a name in the park or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
Right, that's crazy. Now that family is getting donations for, in the same. So now we in a world where we give who we want to give to. So whether or not you believe they did it, didn't do it, you believe he did it, didn't, it's all alleged. I ain't seen no video of
that's alleged.
No man being ran over in a crowd. Normally
to see the trial.
Normally the video will be playing by now. I have y'all seen the video?
So look, so the Attorney General, Ohio Attorney General, he's going to speak out about
the 50,000 being raised.
About people raising money for him.
It's gonna be soon. His mystery's gonna come out and say something about him. It's just a domino effect of all messiness, real soon.
It said they have raised nearly 50,000,
which is nothing
for his legal defense.
Well, that's nothing compared to the lady who
got nothing compared to any of these other people that are non-melanated. They the least they raise is 500,000.
Yeah, but I don't see why they would have a problem with. He's still.
I mean, whoever's
lawyers. Why would you have a problem with it?
It's gonna be pro bono, and the rest gonna go in his book.
Leon, you keep asking, man. Listen, man. On Malcolm X's birthday, you keep asking. You're not asking. You're like, well, why do they have a problem with it? You still trying to assert humanity into a people.
Well, that's just a what you call a rhetorical question. I know why they have a problem with it.
Devil's advocate.
I'm just. That's not devil. That's not devil's advocate. I'm just saying, why would they have a problem with it? I mean, it's dumb for it. I'm basically saying it's dumb for them to have a problem with it.
It invokes more of a conversation when you do it that way. So that's
it. Because we gonna call him Leon Trump.
Man, I hate that I'm gonna make that stick, man.
That's all right.
Like KP said, somebody got to play the villain.
I gotta play the villain, man.
And it's gonna be Mr. Trump here.
I can be Leon Trump.
You do it well.
I can be Leon Trump.
You do it very. Listen, no arguments here, buddy.
Hey,
man.
Hey, just because I don't let Trump get on my skin like y'all, hey, he ain't gonna stress me out.
Some wild things that I just don't
understand. He ain't gonna stress me out.
No, Obama didn't stress me out because I voted for him. Right? You voted for Trump, so of course he's not gonna stress you out. You voted for him. You wanted this.
You did.
You wanted this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sounds crazy. But look, KP, this ain't on the list, but Bitcoin. Man, we didn't have conversations about Bitcoin.
That's
have you bought any Bitcoin yet? Huh?
Huh?
Have you bought any Bitcoin yet?
Did you buy Trump's Bitcoin?
I'm scared to.
Why are you scared to?
I was just scared. I got some, but it ain't worth much.
Put some more in there.
I got some. I bought it back at I got some when it was at 59. 49, 59. No, 59. I have some. It ain't much. So when it goes up, is man, that sucker would have to go into millions for me to be millions.
Put some more in there.
So you bought a Trump coin, Leon?
Nah, you know more about a Trump coin than I do. I don't know about no Trump coin.
Or you bought one of them rump watches?
I don't even know about that either. See how much you.
I put it in the group chat. The rump watch.
I don't even know about that either.
The people who pays $600
for, I think those watches they were trying to charge them like $100,000 for those watches,
or somebody bought it for $650. They off of Trump's website. One of them it looked kind of like a Rolex, but it's not. And they thought it was gonna say Trump, but it's when they got it, it says rump.
Which he got him. He got him, boy. He be rumping them, boy. I ain't lying.
They want their money back, but they can't get their money back. Because it was final sale.
Yeah,
but guess where it was made at? Guess where it was made?
China.
I would take 3 guesses, but I'm only need one.
China. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, you make sure KP go ahead and get some more Bitcoin. Just keep investing.
Well, I mean, you're talking about buying some now at 100. Well, it's going to retract.
Yeah, I'm not. Well,
it'll retrace probably to 103 and between 103 and 97. It'll retrace before the end of the week, and then it'll probably shoot back up next week.
You should have got it when it was about 20,000 less. It would have been good.
Well, no, when I should have got it this time last year when it was trading at 21,000.
Oh yeah, that would have been nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that would have been nice.
Yeah, that would have been. I think it was 21 or 25, and I said, "That's it. Bitcoin is dead."
Oh no, it ain't going nowhere.
Had I known what I know today, I'd have been betting the farm on
it. Yeah, but it's a lot of people that I know, and then you got some other people I don't know personally, but I do know some people personally that still don't believe in it. And they're pretty.
They don't believe in it for what reason? They said that the currency is not real because it's not.
Some of them say that. Then some of them say what's the use case for it, and some of them say they just don't believe it will last. But yeah, when you have a lot of businesses like Coinbase, just matter of fact, just made I think S&P 500.
It did.
Yeah, so
that's what my Bitcoin is in my Coinbase wallet.
Yeah, so.
But it's weird because where I work, the industry in which I work in, I don't hear about it.
You're not, because you are backed by U.S. Mint, backed by gold currency. Mm-hmm. That is backed by voila. Mm-hmm. So the best way to explain it, why people are scared of it, is because if you got common sense, you're gonna stay away from it. But if you're a gambler, you're a roller, you got some investment strategies, and you don't make it your end all be all, then you'll do it because there's a chance that it may hit. Basically, Bitcoin or any of those coins, any of that cryptocurrency, there's no value. Right. The only value is Leon and Renee putting 10,000 a piece in there, and I put 1,000 in, and now we watch if other people put in.
It makes it go up. Mm-hmm.
And that makes the value go up. What brings it down? People pull their money out.
Right. It just reminds me of NFTs, how everybody was going crazy over buying pictures of Daffy Duck.
Now that was a little something different.
It's still an investment.
I wouldn't. Yeah, that's something I wouldn't do. But I don't know. I think Bitcoin is here to stay, and all them other All the other ones,
It
you can make money off
depends.
of them, but you gotta know what
They
you're
may
doing.
be right. It depends on if Trump get a full 4 years and how much he mucked this system up so bad that it will be here to stay.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think as soon as we get a Democratic elected president, they're gonna kill it.
I think that's the reason why they haven't went for articles of impeachment yet, because they don't have anybody in his place to put.
I don't think so.
Well, listen, because at the end of the day, when the trials happen, when history writes itself, it's going to be the Bitcoin fiasco that's going to ultimately really finish Donald Trump and his whole family off. Meaning that when this country writes this, when the oars of the ship turns and right this ship the right way, which it will happen, it always happens. We always have these dark times, and then we have the repair times. When it rewrites itself and they realize that he's obviously violated the Monuments Clause, where you can't gain or to make money as the presidency, which he clearly did. He did a meme coin, him and his wife, and sold it to the American people. That is unregulated, right?
Yeah.
So if you look at the Trump meme coin of that coin, 65,000 people lost their money, while 59 people out of all in the world, only 59 people had a profit of 10 billion or something like that. So that's why people don't believe in crypto, because in order for people to win, a whole bunch of people got to lose.
Yeah.
And I don't know if y'all saw that, where they did a breakdown on those wallets of his coin. Those like over $750,000 of a million people lost their money.
That's
but
crazy.
59 people in those same wallets profited, I think, $10 billion.
Oh, yeah.
59 people. It was probably the Afrikaners.
Speaking of investment, Warren Buffett retiring, he's just out of the game. He's saying, I've done it. I made enough money. I sold off what I'm going to sell off. I'm going to live comfortable. What do you do with all that money?
Give it away. I heard he was giving a lot of money to leaving money to Bill Gates. Did you tell me that, KP?
No.
Somebody told me that.
No. Bill Gates is leaving all his money throughout various.
I seen that too, but somebody told me he was. Let me look it up.
He's spreading it out.
He's gonna leave all his money to the second richest guy in the world.
Not all his money, but leaving some money. Let me see.
It don't matter if he give him a penny. Like the top in the top 10 gonna leave to the top 10. Oh man.
Yeah, I think the only one who escaped that was Jeff Bezos' first wife. I feel like she was just dumping money. She was like, I don't want this.
Well, because she couldn't get rid of it faster than she was making it, Renee. You got to talk about this woman. Got like 50 billion from him or something like that.
She got a lot of money.
You understand that the money, the way it was sitting, she couldn't outspend it because it was making so much money.
I know. It ended up marrying a regular teacher.
All right, here it go right here. Say Warren Buffett.
I would have.
Here it go. Listen.
I ain't leaving my sisters, but.
It said Warren Buffett's plans for his vast fortune include substantial donations to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation during his lifetime. But these donations will cease. Okay, he said they will cease after his death. Okay.
Yeah.
He's giving it now.
He's giving it now.
He's giving it now for the tax break.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think they start? You think that's philanthropy? However you say that word. No, it's a tax haven. It's a tax write-off.
It is.
Well, hey, it's in the rules, so might as well use it.
I mean, listen, that's what I'm saying. The rich donating to the richer. Yeah. That's what happens. But you learn from them and you keep going.
Well, we can't be surprised. He'll leave it to his, donating to his people. Can't be surprised.
I mean, I was watching your favorite guy, John Hope Bryant.
He's one of my guys, yeah.
He's one of your faves. I know. We know. But he did say something interesting. He talked about, cybersecurity and AI. Right? He talked about Black people,
right,
and white people and AI and cybersecurity.
Right.
And that we have in common is that none of us know.
From zero.
None of us knows this, right? We don't know what's coming. We're not there to innovate versus our, I would say our counterparts, China and all of them, even now with, them teaching kids AI in what, kindergarten now, or they've probably been doing it, but now it's just being heightened with all of the back and forth beef. But he said that's where he states that's where we're going to struggle.
No, that's the only part I didn't agree with.
Well, we won't struggle. That's why I think then we talk about this on the last episode that Renee wasn't on. Was I was on a Zoom and the guy was saying about as far as us as black people catching on now to AI and all this now. It's like you saying we all start from zero.
We're a little late to the game.
The whites and the blacks.
No, we're not. Well, I mean, what he was saying, Renee, correct me if I'm wrong. He said that in first time in American history, when a phenomenon takes over, the first, because he gave a chronology of the automobile in the 1920s. He was hundreds of them. He said only a few made it through. He said this is the first time where white and blacks are starting at zero with the understanding of AI and its complexity and how it's going to affect our world. And how we are going to be instrumental in it and in surviving through. And he says this is the first time. The reason why I think we're going to excel is because of who we are as a people. We're good at all these things.
I mean, we invented a lot.
We invented it, and this is nothing but STEM, which is science and math. And we invented that, and we're very good at it, and it is part of our DNA where we can tap into it and be great because we are great. And
I mean, who's the most educated women in America?
The 92%. Yeah. That's why Project 2025 came after. That's why they was coming. That's why they did the student loan thing, where if you was in repayment and all that, because you know what? If I'm thinking like a white man, how can I hurt the black community? Black women, they're leading the country in highest enrollment and graduation, and they're in these jobs. I know how to get them. So that means they have the highest college debt. No more repayments, no more forgiveness, no more nothing. We're gonna bankrupt them hussies. That's their white man. I'm taking white man hat off now. But I go into that because I know that's how they think.
Right.
How can we shut them up? Oh, I know how we can shut them up. No more Birkin bags for you. Yeah, you CEO of this company. You're making $225,000. We'll see about that. And so that's a whole nother part of Project 20.
We'll buy it anyway. And we'll buy it anyway. There's that.
Yeah. Yeah. What was you saying, Leon?
I ain't saying nothing.
We're talking about John O'Brien and, but I think it's true. I
also think with the AI, I think just like anything else, we will dominate it. We'll be good at it. And they'll find out the only good thing about it is they're not going to be smart enough to write a code to make AI racist to us. You get what I'm saying? The reason there was a guy that asked Jesse Jackson, he was talking about the black community, and he was like, man, why you guys are so good in basketball? Why are you guys are so good in football? Why you guys are so good in this? And Jesse Jackson told him, he said, because when we step on a football field, it's 100 yards. And you got to go 10 yards to make a first down to get a whole set of downs. When we step on a basketball court, the court is 94 foot long. The goal is 10 foot. That's all that. As long as we know the rules and you can't change them, we effing you up. That's why we're good at it. Is when you start moving the goalposts and start changing the rules because you see we getting good. But as long as the rules are set in stone, and that's what they are, we messing you up. And that's why I believe in us. There is y'all talked about Shiloh, the girl that called the baby the N-word in the park and stuff like that. She's raised $700 and some odd $1,000. Her baby raised $300,000, right? And there's a black woman that's from Alabama by way of Atlanta, and she went in there and cracked the code. Through AI, she found out how it was being sourced, who's fun. She used her skin. She said, basically, if you listen to her, she's like, it's very simple what I did. But not only what she did, she actually is teaching it to people through steps. Like they can access and like, well, how did you do that? How did you find out? And again, the brilliancy of blackness. I'm betting on black, man. I'm at the casino at the roulette table and the thing is spinning and I'm throwing that ball in there because you know why? While that wheel is spinning, all I see is black because that's what I'm betting on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as long as we apply ourselves.
As long as we know as long as we apply ourselves.
Yeah, because it's so many different types.
Like as long as you pull ourselves by our bootstraps, right, Leon?
Yeah. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps and apply yourself and go. Because there's so many apps, different types of apps.
The reason why I don't play Uno because the rules keep changing. Don't play.
It's more than Chat GPT, so it's different kind of
There's
apps to build websites, apps to do music, apps to do whatever you want to do.
I think we need to get on it. I think we will. Yeah. I just think that it will be the first time where they can't write us out of history of something because they won't be able to write the code for racism.
Right. Mm-hmm. Or if they try, we would be able to crack the code.
Right, because it's no longer a human. Mm-hmm. It's just a machine. And we're going to always remember the fact that we think the machine is going to be smarter than us, then that means that we're smarter than God. Come on now.
That's crazy.
We think that he created us. Mm-hmm. Right? So that machine may get its rocks off, may look like it's smarter. Yeah, you can solve to the 23rd Pantheon. Yeah. But can you take me hitting you in the head with a hammer?
Now, when it comes to, a lot of people say when they first started talking about AI and then they started talking about taking away jobs and it's going to take away a lot of jobs. But listen, another thing they said was it will also create a lot of jobs for people who know how to use who know how to use AI. So that's another thing when it comes to that. It's still going to give some jobs, so we just got to know what we're doing.
I agree. Yeah, that's that all goes in. I mean, that's in all sincerity. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's the next wave of the last wave that's been going. And sure, Renee, is tech. Everybody was like tech. Mm-hmm. Now they're going to combine tech with AI, and they're going to.
You know what? You know who's going to struggle the most?
Who that?
Who?
It's going to be the people that's been with the company for years and don't like change, right?
True.
And I say this because our company just came out with their AI, right? And they prefer us to use this over, the Chat GPTs, the Grammarly's, all of the other things. This is the one they want us to use. So they made an announcement in our Yammer page. If you're familiar with corporate America, Yammer is a page where you can chat, you do updates if your family gets married, and then everybody in the company can respond, right? They uploaded, hey guys, you have your own, everybody now has their own AI assistant that will help you write emails and do all the things, papers, all the things you wanted to do, right? I'm waiting because, we're some boisterous people and people get, they get very bold with their keyboards, not necessarily a person, but with their keyboards.
That's all over social media.
So I'm waiting. I'm like, I'm telling my other coworker. I said, "Girl, I'm waiting for the chat. Here
What's that?
Here, first guy. Is this in place to Grammarly? I love using Grammarly. They're like, sure, yeah. A woman. I'm not using this. I want to make sure I'm writing, and I still want to write my own emails and make sure my memory's sharp. Man, what was the reason?
That's when they're saying we're gonna get left behind.
Is this an alt company use? Are we forced to use this? I knew
She's gonna be wanting to get left behind, like you said.
I knew it. And then here come her whole trail of people who've been there for a long time. I agree. And they liking it and hearting it and everybody else. I'm like, this is great. Do I download it now or is there?
Was it 92% in there?
Yeah, it was. So she wasn't a part of the 92%.
This was the 54.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I love the 54. I love the 54.
I'm like, I can download this both on Teams and can I move the app, onto my computer? They're like, sure, it's a bot responding. Sure, you can go ahead and do this. I'm pinging, I'm working with it. I'm going in my manager group chat and I'm telling everybody, I'm like, yo, this is really dope. Everybody's like, for real? I'm already in it. But then I said, let me go back to the chat and see what's in there because here go another person. Oh, I agree with you. This is just too new for me, and I don't know if I like it. I'm thinking, man, I already told my manager. I told my VP. I said, baby, listen, the end of the year performance review is gonna be elite. Look forward to it. She responded back and said, same. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Meeting your career goal is going to be amazing. It's going to be a whole blossoming experience with my AI chat assistant. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, so learn AI. Those of you who don't know how to do it and who don't know how to use it, learn how to use it so you won't get left behind. Because
right, you give me a personal AI assistant, I'm gonna use it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's gonna be around.
Right.
Listen, man, I'm for it. If I could listen, if AI can give me a tight fade every week, I know somebody's gonna be out of a job.
No, they're not doing that.
Some people are AI proof. Some people are just AI proof.
Hey, they mess around, try that, they go blow a fuse in the middle of your fade.
Oh man!
Oh my goodness, Leon Trump. I know.
Leon, listen, on this one, Leon Trump is protected. He actually can ride into the sunset with his craft.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he act the way he act.
Let's go, Trump, baby, with them coins. Oh, well, all right, man. There you have it for another episode of the MPL4 podcast. And remember, seize the opportunity to grasp your dreams.
Peace.